Hey, welcome back to the Woodgrafter. Today I've got the Tilswall Rotary Tool in my hand and we're going to give that a full review. Stick around. A few months ago, a company called Tilswall got in touch with me and said, "Hey Andy, we love what you're doing on the channel and we've got some products we'd like you to have a look at." Send them over, I said, why not? Last video I looked at the detail sander, commonly known as the mouse sander, and today I'm going to have a look at the rotary tool, and I'm actually super excited to look at this. This is an alternative to the well-known Dremel brand that I really think have dominated this market and really define what the market needs to be. So it's great to see some lower cost alternatives coming into the market. Question is, are they any good and can they meet the expectations we've all got of something like a Dremel? That's what we're going to find out. Now, Tilswall may be a new brand to you. It certainly was a new brand to me. They're a Chinese company and they started off in 2019, and predominantly up to this point they've sold on the Amazon marketplaces, and that's globally. What I love about Tilswall is they've got a really good distribution network in place and a phenomenally good customer services. Now, more recently they're beginning to move away from the Amazon marketplace and they've now got their own website that's well worth having a look at to see all their brand of tools. So with that great distribution, great price point, their own website and great customer support, well worthwhile having a look at this value and this range, I think. So in this video I'm going to start off as always by unboxing this and see what we get in the kit, and you get quite a lot in this kit for your money. And then I'm going to look at the features, the specification, the price point and how that compares with the competition. I'll then just do some quick basic stuff with this, put it through its paces. Problems with these rotary tools is they do so much and there's so many things to so many people that you can't do every functionality. But we'll do some basics and have a look at that. And then we'll finish off with a wrap up, see what we think and would I recommend this product in your workshop. So let's start off by unboxing and seeing what we get in the kit. Now this is it. You can see that Tilswall have this sort of very simplistic brand going on here, all coming in a nice recyclable cardboard box, which I like to see. This is the device, a rotary tool, model S1J-FE7-10. As always, no idea what that means. And you can see they do a range of here, Japanese, US, European and UK. On the box, very nice illustration of the device itself. They've always got this sort of statement, be bold to go forward, and I've still no idea what the heck that's on about. This always confuses me. On the back here, they've got a European headquarters that's based in Germany, and you can see the address there. Doesn't mean that this is manufactured in Germany. And then some bits and bobs going on the box here, made in China. Unpacking this beast, inside you get a nice blue case. And this blue is obviously a branded colour. You can see Tilswall here and the Tilswall logo, two sort of kind of T's shaped into hammer type tools. And then this black and blue colour scheme, which is not too bad. In the front pocket here, you're going to get some accessories. You get this box of stuff. You get a some sanding discs, I think they are. Some more sanding discs, but we'll look at all these in a second. And a couple of AAA batteries. And then opening the case proper, you then get to see the kit there that all folds in. Sort of kind of got a compartment. It's not really held that securely inside the case, it's dumped in. There is a Velcro strap that holds the machine itself. So inside here we get the obligatory instruction manual and we get the warranty card. Now the warranty really is quite interesting, so it's worth reading through. First of all, it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you buy this and you don't like it, they will refund you completely 30 days. Now that's something you don't see very often on tools. My Festool tools all come with that, but it's great to see Tilswall standing behind the product in that way. Not for me, don't like it, no quibble, money back. Any problems with that? Obviously they will fix it if you want to do that instead in the first 30 days. They've then got a 30-day to 3 months warranty. We will replace a defective unit due to manufacturing fault with a new one. You will receive an extra 3 months warranty if you register on our website. So if you register on this, you've then got 6 months of warranty where they will replace the unit if anything goes wrong. Not repair it, replace the unit if anything goes wrong. And then from that point, although they call it a 2-year warranty, it actually extends up to 28 months, which is obviously longer than 2 years. And in that point, within 28 months, We will provide timely and effective online after-sales services of your purchase. So the warranty on this is really good, and it's sort of kind of getting to market-leading standards. So if you're sat there saying, oh, Chinese company, relatively cheap tool, not for me, think again, because that's an awesome warranty in the industry, and it's great to see companies standing behind their brand. Now the bit that you're all interested in, of course, is the machine itself, and here it is. It's a lot smaller and more compact than it actually looks in the pictures. When you first see the illustrations and you see it online and people using it, such as this video, it does look a bit heavy, but it's not. It's really quite light, and it's very, very, very tactile, and we'll look at the construction in a second. But that's it, that's the unit itself, and as I say, mine comes with a UK plug and it's hardwired in. We also get some bits and bobs in the kit. This is just a simple stand that clips onto this, and it allows you to use this in the upright position. We'll look at that shortly. We've then got a two-piece handle, detail handle, that fits on this and allows you to use it almost like a gun. And you can see it's got some electronics inside here. That's because it's got a built-in LED, and that's what the batteries were for, so we'll look at that shortly. It's then got a lead-in angle. You can screw this on and it allows you to just lead in and get an angle. Very, very good for edge work if you wanted to do that. And then it's got a plastic guard, again, that filters on here, and that just protects you from debris in use. But as always, with any of these tools, I would always wear safety goggles, not just rely on that guard. Now, where this thing really gets surprising is it comes with a flex lead, but you can see it's ergonomic and it's designed where this goes into the device, get the device out of the way, and you could, in theory, really get down to some fine work, almost using it like a pen. So it's quite super exciting to see that. So out of the box and in the kit, you get an awful lot of stuff. So talking about stuff, what I want to do now is to look at the stuff in a little bit more detail, commonly known as accessories, stuff being a technical term. We'll just start to put it together, look at the features, etc. So let's get into the accessories and the features of this device. Now, first things first, this is a 220 to 240 volt device, the UK, 50 Hertz. That makes this 160 watts of power, which is ample for this type of tool. It's made of a hard blue plastic, and you can see the blue colour is, that blue and black is a sort of branded theme of Tilswall. But these little black bits here, they're a bit softer, they're a bit tactile, and that's really, really quite nice. So when you're holding it in your hand, that's really, really quite good. And the claim is that's slightly absorbent to vibration, so you could use this for an extended period. Well, we'll see whether we believe that or not. Now, what I'm super happy about is these little black caps here. And the thing that normally fails on this type of device are the brushes. Over time, they wear out. So the fact you can take these covers off and replace it with what I believe are pretty easy to get standard brushes is awesome. You can see it's got a volume control on the back. It's got a maximum that cleverly comes all the way down to a minimum. I'm not sure if this is a stepped adjustment or variable adjustment. We'll have a check of that in a second, but that's going to give you a speed range of 8,000 revs per minute on the one setting, all the way up to its loudest volume of 33,000 revs per minute. So that's ample for a whole variety of materials, and we'll look at the materials this is recommended for shortly. One of the things that always typically annoys me with the lower cost tools is the length of the lead, but on this one we've got quite a generous length of power lead, and given the fact I'm likely to be using this on my bench, that power lead is ample for this tool. You don't want it too long because it gets in the way, but you don't want it too short where you've got power adapters, and this length of this lead is pretty much bang on. Just measuring that lead, it's coming out at round about 1900 millimeters, 1.9 meters of lead. Now, this seems to be a feature in all of the Tilswall products. You start off in the beginning of the manual with these two QR codes. This top one here is a copy of this manual, should you wish to download it. And this bottom one is Q&A, and they're always updating the Q&A. So if you've got a question, link in here and it takes you over to their knowledge base. Nice to see, nice feature. Now, what I really like here is this table, and this table gives you an idea of what you get in the kit, but more importantly, it tells you the products it would work on. So this is going to give you grinding, diamond grinding, sanding, drills, polishing, sanding paper, finishing, etching, etc. It gives you a whole host of things that you do function wise, and gives you the category of device and a small picture which will help you navigate the accessories in the box. And then it says you can work here on softwood, hardwood, plastic, steel, aluminium, brass, etc., shell and stone, ceramics and glass, and it tells you the speed that you're going to use, and then the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. that you then use to set this thing up. And let's see if we can work out what we're going to get in this box. So I'm going to tip everything out here because it's in no particular order, which is something that could be improved, I think. And the first thing it talks about is grinding stones. Now, grinding stones are obviously used to grind metals such as aluminium, iron, steel and copper. So this is the grinding stones that you get inside the kit. You've then got something that I'm really quite interested in, which are these little diamond burr bits, and these are for carving stone, metal, glass, hardwood. But you get a variety, of these little diamond bits here inside the kit. We then have some sanding drums. Now these sanding drums are exactly what they say. They are a different grit paper, and these are for obviously sanding. And they come along with this little attachment here, and that obviously just goes on there, and you tighten the nut down. This rubber collet extends, and that holds the sanding drum in place. And you've got a number of different sizes here of sanding discs. Now these are actually pretty useful, and there's a second collet there as well for holding all those sanding discs together. And that's quite useful. And if you're ever doing carving where you've got shapes inside material, to get inside with one of these and just clean up the edges is actually really pretty cool. So again, I think that's quite exciting about that sanding capability for really fine sanding work. I've then got some felt wheels. Felt wheels are for polishing things, usually used with some sort of polishing compound. There's none provided in the kit that I can see, but obviously that's what you use it for. Now this would normally come, and here it is, with this type of connection here. It's the one with a very small thread on it, and if you look at the discs themselves, they have a small hole, and all you're doing with this is that just screws in to that. Now one thing I will say about this is the screw on this is slightly longer, so it does protrude in. So if you're expecting to use this flat, just be careful, because that could catch your material. These are designed to really be used on this edge, and there's no problem in that space. But it is orientated in such a way that this will tighten onto the shaft, so you can't avoid that little peak coming through. But you've got the sanding discs inside there for polishing plastics, metals, jewellery, models, etc. We then have a couple of small drill bits, and I'm going to say that these are my drill bits, and there's a couple of different types inside there. In fact, some of these may be cutters, but we'll call them drill bits for now. And again, this device is pretty good for doing incredibly small fine holes on a variety of different projects. I've got some wire brushes that sit inside here, and then I've got some small plastic brushes that sit inside here, and these are for cleaning a variety of materials up. I've then got a variety of cutting discs, and these are sort of kind of reinforced resin cutting discs. These are for doing things like cutting metals as aluminium, iron, steel, copper, taking nails out, cutting the heads off screws. Light cutting material, I've seen people demo this device by cutting through quite thick steel. It's not really designed for that, but it's certainly to go through nail heads and take those things out for you. Now that comes along with a couple of this type of attachments here, and they just simply go through the hole here, screw together, and that's how you get your cutting discs attached. You've then got these two discs here, and again, these are for cutting. You've got a diamond cutting wheel here that's actually got some holes in the middle, which just keeps it cool, and that'll be quite good for cutting as well. And also a very small little little table saw blade almost, isn't it? It's got some teeth around that, serrated edges around that, and that's very cool for cutting sort of woods and what have you, soft woods. I wouldn't be showing this to metal, it will destroy it. This one probably would do some light touch metal, and certainly it would sort of cut into stone for you and that sort of thing. But these are the ones that are going to be your heavy duty. So that's all your cutters, and there's a variety of different things here. It comes with a spare collet, and it comes with a couple of different size chucks, a few more very, very fine grinding wheels, and another brush here that I forgot to tell you about. It then comes with some sanding discs. I think from memory these were 120 and 80 grit sanding discs, and again you attach those using these sort of little devices here, and they attach the sanding discs together. They've got a hole in the middle. Not sure what this is. It almost looks like a spare brush, but it can't be. So I've got this little grey block, no idea what that's for, and then I've got this little round bent thing, and I don't know what that's for either, and then I've got the small spanner for attaching things. So that's what you get in your kit, and you can just see by the collection of stuff that you get the versatility of this machine. And that's why I say it's very, very hard to demo this machine, because it could do so much for so many people. And if you're a hobbyist and you're making jewellery or you're doing small craft projects, this is an ideal tool. What this tool is not is a multi-tool. It's called a rotary tool, and it's a rotary tool because it spins and you put spinning things in the end of it. A multi-tool is slightly different. It's a slightly bigger tool, slightly more powerful, and that's going to have saw attachments and sanding attachments and grinding stones attached for it that will do something that this can't do. So if you're expecting this to come out and, you know, clean up and polish your garden shears and tidy that, it'll do it, but you're going to put strain on the motor, and you're best off going for a multi-tool, which is a bigger device. If you're doing craft work, hobby work, polishing, engraving glass, engraving stone, tidying up carvings in the way that I want to do, this is the ideal tool for you, the rotary tool. Now it also comes with a number of these accessories that actually clip on to the machine. And the first one, and the one that people tend to rave around, is this one. It comes in two parts. Looks a bit cheap and plasticky, but it comes in two parts. But they do give you some high quality MIDI Max AAA size batteries. How long they will last, I do not know. It is a bit cheap on the moulding. I've got some moulding bits here. I mean, if only I had a rotary tool where I could tidy the thing up. But you can see it does have that small LED on the end of it, and it's quite bright. I can see it catching around the edges of the camera there, so it's relatively bright, and that's obviously to put light onto the area that you're working on. But the handle itself is okay. It's got some gaps here where it's fitted together, but it's okay. Now to attach any of these tools, it's all to do with this thread here on the collet, and this particular tool will just slide into place. It locks like so, and then that's where this second collet comes along, and that then just locks everything into place. And that now gives you this pistol grip type action, and it does feel pretty interesting because you've now got the weight of the machine taken by your arm here, and you're in pretty good place. I guess if you work in this type of orientation on a material, that's going to be quite useful and quite good. And I'll put the light on. You can probably see the light there reflecting pretty much exactly where I'm going to be working, which is nice to see. So that little handle there is quite good, and certainly when I've watched other people review this who tend to use this tool much more than I do for things like engraving and doing hand carving, then they do rave over this handle. And it's there, it's well fitted, it's secure, it's easy to take on and off. Just undo that collet, and then that slides over, and then you can put the standard collet back on if you so wish. This is another accessory, and I quite like this accessory. It's a stand, and the idea goes that you can put this inside the stand and then you can carve the wood. But what's super neat about this is it's adjustable, and I did wonder how they were going to solve this problem, because I want to be able to carve at different depths, obviously, and that's going to be quite hard to do. But it's got a small gauge on here, and it's calibrated in millimeters and inches, and it goes from 0 mil to 20 mil, or 0 inches to 3/4 of an inch, quarter, half, so it goes in quarter of inch increments or 5 millimeter increments. And I guess although it's not going to be super accurate, one wouldn't suppose, if I wanted a 5 millimeter depth, I could set that up accordingly. And this little device, once again, super easy to attach. It just screws on. You've then got this device here, which is a leading angle, I think they call it, and again, simple as, screws on. and now I've got this angle here, which is not 45 degrees, but you can see if I wanted to work on the edge of, if I wanted to work on the edge of a board, that will allow me to sort of kind of get a repeatable angle down the edge, which I guess would be good if I wanted to break harnesses in some sort of certain way. It's also got these two little thumb holes here, or finger holes, which allows me to hold this as a pencil, and I can actually use that pivot there to control the bit again. And to be honest with you, that does feel like it's going to give me a nice bit of control. Rather than taking all the weight here, it'll just take the weight off the bit, allowing you to carve the bit, and I can vary the angle of that. So I quite like that. Again, nice feature that I think if you're a carver will help you no end. And then the final thing that we get in this is this little device here, which is simple shield. And I did wonder when I first saw this whether it was going to be, you know, some sort of dust collection, but there's no dust collection on this at all. Now this is a simple perspex guard that rotates, so if I was cutting in this, you can see it's just going to stop the debris flying away, and because it rotates, it gives me a little bit of manoeuvrability. How good that's going to be, I don't know, but again, in use, it does seem to be quite ergonomic, and I can see what's going on the carve, so that could be quite useful as well. Now when it comes to adding any of the accessories, it's super simple. You've got the orange button on top, and the orange button, sorry about my thumb, I sliced the end of my thumb off. Not doing woodworking, strangely enough, but doing chopping chicken nuggets up for my son for his tea. Super sharp knife, as you'd expect, straight through the end of my finger, so I'm sorry that's getting in the way a bit. But you've got this little orange knob here, and you push a knob, and that locks this into place. And you can see I can now change the chucks here, and I've got 3 different chuck sizes. There's nothing written on these chucks, but they are all different size. I'd almost say I've got a large, a medium and a small, and if I was to wanted to come in with this, then just find the appropriate chuck, which is going to be this one. Now these are actually a brass type material, and they've deliberately gone for brass, they tell me, rather than aluminium, because it gives you more consistent grip. It's more flexible, more malleable than aluminium, and once you've got this tightened in, it gives you equal pressure around this, and therefore you don't get any vibrations, which means what you're carving is what you're carving. It doesn't drift on you, and you simply tighten that up. Now how true that claim is, I have no idea. I couldn't actually tell you at all, but that's what they do claim, so it's worth sharing. Now the final accessory that's worth talking about is this one. I think this is where it really starts to stand out from the competition. And the idea goes that this flexible lead connects to the end here, and it takes the rotary power down to this piece here. And obviously this is a lot finer to use than taking the weight of this, so you can put this out of the way and just come in here. Now the accessories don't attach to this, so the stand, the guard, the leading don't actually attach to this, so you really have got fine control, almost like a pen, which I think is useful. But again, you can change the chucks inside here. And I've just worked out what this round thing's for. There's no button on this one. We had the button here to lock the chuck. There's no button here, but what there is a hole in the shaft. So you rotate this around till the hole appears, and then you pop that down inside, and that's what locks your chuck. A bit cheap and wobbly. I'm assuming the chucks are the same. Yep, so all the chucks are interchangeable. So I can just pop that in there, and then I can pop that back on. Actually, once that's in place, it's quite firm. It's not fiddly at all. And then that just simply locks into place like so. And now you can see the idea of that. So it's connected together. You can see this rotary shaft just pulls forward, and that just simply goes into your chuck at this end. It's got a positive stop lock there, so you push it all the way down. Hold in the orange button, and then just simply tighten that down a few turns. And then you come in with this big silver metal thing, and that just obviously just screws into place. And there you go, I've now got a lead on here. Now there's also a clip we didn't talk about here, and the idea goes you can hang that on some convenient stand, and then you're just taking the weight of the end piece, which I think is really quite neat. I'm just going to turn this on for the first time, and we'll hear the noise, I'll feel the vibration. I just want to check whether this is actually infinitely variable or not, or whether it's stepped variable. So I'm going to turn it on. So it's super quiet, I'm not shouting now, it's the same noise level. We'll put a dB meter on this in a second and see how loud it is. That's on its lowest setting. This is rotating around quite happily, and there's not a lot of vibration, to be honest with you. Setting 1, I'm going to turn it all the way up. It is variable control, so it's infinitely variable, and I can really dial in that speed. That's maximum. It's getting a little bit noisy at that point. It's got really good airflow through the motor, so I think you're going to be able to use this for an extended period of times. I have raised my voice a little bit now because of that noise. Nothing on this is rotating at all, so in theory I can just hang this up on the wall. And now I can carve, I guess. Well, it's super easy. It really is super easy to use. Now don't laugh at my first ever carving attempt with a rotary. I've put Andy in the wood there, and I've used a diamond bit, which is probably the wrong bit, but you can sort of get the idea. If you were better than I and using the right tools, then you could really get some control over that. Works pretty well. Just going to check the decibels on this. You've seen me use this before. This is my decibel meter. I'll just put it on the box so you can see it. Going to reset it first of all, then I'll take an ambient noise on this, and then I'll turn this on and we'll see where we get to. Ambient noise coming up. So I'm peaking about 41, which is when I actually breathe to turn this thing off. So it's about 30-ish decibels, normal noise in my workshop. Okay, we'll now turn this on. I'm going to go to maximum power on this one because that's the worst scenario, and I'll hold it about this distance away and see what we get. So this was peaking just under the 90 mark, 90 is when I spoke. It's peaking just underneath the 90 mark, and then its lowest speed, it was down to about 85. So this is working between a range of 85 to 90 decibels. That is enough to damage your hearing, and like a lot of these tools, it's quite a high-pitched whine, so it is going to get to your ears. I would, even though it's a small tool, doesn't seem that powerful, I would recommend eye protection and ear protection while you're using this. Now obviously, like most of these devices, there is no dust collection on this whatsoever, so you may want to take that into consideration as well. So there you go, that's pretty much what you get in the kit, the key features, looking at the thing in use. So final thoughts. What gets super exciting about this kit is when you start to look at the price point. All of this kit here, as demonstrated, as displayed, is the standard kit that you get. You get the device, you get the case, you get the attachments, you get the accessories, you get that incredible 28-month warranty for a price point of £37.99 in the UK. £37.99 in the UK. I think that is phenomenal value. And if this machine had some longevity, and at this moment I've no reason to believe it wouldn't, that is incredible value, and it's probably a really good accessory if you're doing that light touch craft type work. Don't throw it at a great big massive job, it will break, it's not designed for it. Put that price into perspective. I looked at the Dremel, which arguably is the market leader, actually the people who invented and sort of created this type of tool. Now the quality of Dremel, I believe, has gone down significantly. They moved to offshore manufacturing. It's not quite what it was, but they're still the market leader. If you were to buy the 175 watt device, this is the 160, so similar power, the 175 watt device, you're going to pay for a similar kit £129.95 in the UK. £129, £130, as opposed to round about £40. What's that? Nearly £90 more for the Dremel version over this. I could probably buy 3 of these for a similar price of the Dremel equivalent. The other thing I like about this, although I personally haven't tried it, so there's no Woodgrafter guarantee for this one, this is compatible with Dremel accessories. And I went onto Amazon and I read through every single review. And by the way, this gets consistent 5-star reviews, and there's thousands of them on the Amazon website. And I always like to see what the humans say on Amazon. It's a really good indication. There was one guy who actually was using this with the Dremel accessories, which is the hand drill. There's an angle thing that gives you almost a sanding attachment on the end of it, which is awesome. And there's a plunge router stand as well that turns it into a very, very nice small detail router. And he's using that with standard Dremel accessories. So a device, fantastic price point, great range of attachments that comes with it, phenomenal warranty, and compatible with the market leader accessories today. You cannot sniff at that. Would I recommend this device? Absolutely. You'll see me using it around the workshop. Certainly if you're following my CAD Cam for Woodworkers channel, you're going to see this an awful lot on my CAD projects. And I think I'll come back to this one in maybe 6 months and do a long-term tool review to let you know how I'm getting on. I do believe this is no longer available on the Amazon marketplace, but it is directly available from Tilswall, and I will leave a couple of links in the description so you can click on your link in the UK or the US and get access to it. They are not affiliate links. I'm taking no money at all from this video, but I do get to keep this product. Okay, thank you for watching as always. I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you very soon on the Woodgrafter. Take care.